were taken to Army's 4 Rajputana Rifles camp in Baramulla on the 27th of April. They reportedly went to the camp again on the 29th of April, but this time the 3 allegedly lured did not return. Their parents were worried. They filed a missing report in the local police station. The investigation led to the arrest of a certain guy called Bashir Ahmed Lone. Now, Bashir Ahmed Lone was a local counter-insurgent. Now, Bashir reportedly disclosed that the 3 missing were murdered. The police by now converted the case from missing to that of abduction. Now, on the 30th of April, the Ministry of Defence claimed of killing 3 intruders and burying them. The state government also initiated an inquiry headed by Kashmir's Divisional Commissioner. Finally, these bodies were exhumed on the 28th of May and identified by the families as the children, as the youth who were abducted. The incident has caused unrest in North Kashmir. There are agitations on at this point of time in North Kashmir. In fact, that is where our correspondent also got hurt, Idris Lone. He is in Nadihal, Baramulla. Now, people have been protesting and the anger against administration is building out there. Now, there have been protests in North Kashmir. The Baramulla-Handwara highway has been blocked. And our correspondent Idris Lone now finally is joining us on the phone line from Baramulla. Idris, I understand as you were trying to report from Nadihal, a stone hit you as well. Are you okay now?
Well, Akash, I'm fine now. Yeah, I was actually doing a walkthrough in that area where the protesters were out on the street, and they're very angry, and it hardly seems that the anger is simmering down in this village of Nadihal where these 3 men belong to. Now I'm fine. I'm out of that mob now, and I'm in a secure place. I've got myself into a secure place now.
In fact, Idris, we're looking at the pictures right now that you have sent to us. The stones are also being pelted at the police there. And just give us a situation of what is happening there.
Well, as I told you, they're very angry. The villagers in this area, especially in the Nadihal area, are very angry. Everybody seems to be on the road pelting stones onto the security forces because the security forces have cordoned off the whole area to actually, they were expecting that there will be law and order problems aggravating today because what happened yesterday after the bodies of these 3 men were exhumed and identified by the families. So today they were expecting that there would be protests in this area, and that's what exactly is happening. People are engaged and they are coming out on the road protesting and asking that probe should take place, and not a probe only. They want that the culprits should be booked and brought to justice as soon as possible. So definitely a lot of anger among the people of this village, as you yourself have mentioned, that these 3 men were first abducted on 27th of April last month, and on 30th of April, Army claimed to have killed 3 militants on the line of control in Machil sector of Kupwara, where the army said that these men were trying to infiltrate into the Indian territory, and they had also said that they recovered arms and ammunition from these 3 men, so which definitely raises a lot of question on the credibility of security forces of Indian army
Idris,
in the state of Jammu and Kashmir.
In fact, we're looking at those visuals right now from Nadihal in Baramulla district, which you've sent. The locals are indeed very angry. They're pelting stones at the security forces, but then there is a provocation for this. There are serious charges. Now, just tell us what exactly are the charges according to the Jammu and Kashmir police, particularly after they exhumed the bodies of these 3 Kashmiri youth, which the army had claimed they were infiltrators, which now the police is saying they were not.
Well, absolutely, their demands are justified this time because the 3 men who were innocent people from this village who were laborers, one of them was a laborer, another was not, his mental state was not perfect. So definitely, it is definitely a case where the protesters coming out on the streets is justified in their own way. What they are asking, if we talk about what exactly happened from 27th of April, these men, according to the families of the victims, were abducted by the former special police officers who also belong to the same area. They were abducted by these 2 men on the 27th of April, and they went missing. After that, families had reported to Jammu and Kashmir police about about the missing, these three men going missing from the village. And on 30th of April, Army claimed that they have killed 3 militants who were trying to infiltrate into the Indian territory. So definitely, a day, 3 days back, the family of a member, one of the family members, saw a picture of one of the victims who was killed in the fake encounter in a newspaper, and he recognized him, and after which the whole mystery started to unravel, and they got to know what exactly had happened. And then they went to the police saying that they want the bodies to be exhumed. And when yesterday the bodies were exhumed from Kupwara's Kalarus area, they identified all the 3 bodies who were the 3 innocent men from this Nadihal village.
Right.
Definitely a lot of anger among the people of the whole Kashmir, we can say. A lot of reactions coming in from the mainstream as well as from the separatist leaders, saying that a probe, not only a magisterial probe, but the army. We should also say that the army is also the GOC of 15 Corps met the Chief Minister Umar Abdullah yesterday and assured him that he will help him in every which way they could in actually investigating the matter and bringing down the culprits who are behind the killing of these 3 men.
Right, Idris, just do stay with us. If these allegations by the J&K police are true, if the findings of their probe are right, then these are serious allegations against the army. In fact, now we can show you those visuals of the walkabout that Idris was doing in Nadihal in Baramulla district when he himself was hit by a stone. Just look at these visuals.
By Indian Army were handed over to their families yesterday after the bodies were exhumed. As you can see behind me, the protesters are out on the streets protesting against the killing of these 3 men. The bodies of these 3 men were exhumed today. They had gone missing on April 27th, and on 30th of April last month, the army claimed to have killed 3 militants in an encounter in the Machil sector of Kupwara. They said that these militants were trying to infiltrate into the Indian territory. Now, the Chief Minister of this state has ordered a magisterial probe into the killing of these 3 men. The GOC of 15 Corps has also said that there will be an internal inquiry into this case. And now you can see behind me the angry mobs are out on the streets saying that they want the culprits to be booked. They want the culprits to be booked and brought to justice as soon as possible. As you can see, the police trying to control the mob behind me in their own ways. They're not using tear gas shells. They're not using any such action so that they could actually injure any of these protesters. So definitely a lot of care to be taken by the security forces in this area of Nadihal where these 3 men belong to. With video journalist Firdaus Ahmed in Nadihal, Idris Lone, News X.
In fact, I wonder how much of our viewers got that visual of a big stone coming and hitting Idris right behind his neck. And Idris is on the phone line with us right now. Idris, I must commend you. You were actually hit by a direct thrown which was hurled by the protesters. It hit you behind your neck and you continue doing that walkabout.
Well, Akash, we have actually become very used to, in Kashmir to all these situations. Now, I should give you the latest update. I'm standing on the road just few 100 meters away from the house where these 3 men resided, where their house is. And police has now resorted to firing because the mobs are actually going out of control now. So they have opened fire in the air, and they are using tear gas shells also to disperse off the mob in this area. So definitely a lot of precaution is being taken by the police in this area, but now they have resorted to firing as well as to the tear gas shells.
Idris, in fact, if you take this issue further ahead, there are a few more very important points here, and again, a very serious allegation. Now, according to the Jammu Kashmir police, the probe has also showed that there were 3 men who used to work with the army, with the Rajputana rifles, and these 3 men actually lured these 3 innocent Kashmiri youth to come to the camp because they said they can get a job there as a porter. These 3 men have also taken money from the army, and they knew that these 3 men would be killed. Is that the allegation?
Well, the reports that are coming in from the Jammu and Kashmir police are saying that there were 3 territorial army guys who were trying to lure these men into and saying that we would give you a job in the special task force of Jammu and Kashmir police. So they were trying to lure them into that, and there were another 2 special police officers who were former special police officers who were also involved. The family is actually alleging that these 2 special police, former special police officers were the men who had abducted these 3 men on 27th of April, and after that these 3 men went missing from the village of Nadihal. And on 30th of last month, only on 30th of April, that army had later on claimed that they have killed 3 militants in the Machal sector of Kupwara, where the militants were trying to infiltrate into the Indian territory. So that what the question is now, that these 3 men, if they were abducted by these former special police officers in the area of Nadihal only, why did they hand over these 3 men to the Indian army? Was it especially because they wanted it was planned that a fake encounter will be done on the 30th, and then these men will be used by the Indian army, and they would kill these 3 men in that area.
And Idris, if the allegations are true, it's not just a case of fake encounter as normally seen, but this is actually seems like cold-blooded murder, and in fact murder for medals. In fact, right now on the screens we have this visual. You must have seen just now the stone hit Idris. This is what we were talking about. Stone which is directly hurled, and Idris continues to do this. Idris, just also update us on how widespread these protests are right now across North Kashmir.
Well, we came through the Baramulla area. We were expecting that on the Baramulla bridge we will be stopped by the mobs, but thankfully there were no protests in the Baramulla village. But as we are entering into the Nadihal area, we started entering. There were barricades by the mobs. They had put stones on the roads. They were not allowing any vehicle to cross. When I had to convince to actually let us go, because we want to meet the family. But we are now in Nadihal village. We are actually in one of the houses in Nadihal village where we've taken the escape, because there are stones being pelted by these mobs from everywhere, and the police is now taken to firing. They've used tear gas shelling as well as aerial firing now to dispose of the mobs, who are actually going out of control now, because they have been coming from all the corners of this village. It's a huge field actually. The area is open, so they are coming from different corners and pelting stones onto the security forces. So a bit of a difficult situation for the security forces. They wanted to manage the whole mob in their own ways. Especially, they didn't want anybody to get injured in this attack. As we know that the reason why they are out on the streets is quite justified this time. So they wanted to take that kind of a precaution, but now they have resorted to firing as well as to the tear gas shelling as the mobs were going out of control.
Right, and Idris, we'll give you a break here. Do take good care of yourself, because that stone directly hit behind your neck. We're giving you a break here. And in fact, now let us move on. We've seen that what the protesters are doing. They're throwing stones. They are angry visibly, and the allegations against the army are pretty serious. But then, what is the army saying? To give us the army point of view, we have with us NewsX correspondent Jaskira Singh from the newsroom, who's talked to the army spokespersons. Jaskira, the allegation is really serious that the army first claimed that they have killed 3 infiltrators, but there were actually 3 innocent Kashmiri youths. And not only that, they were lured by the false promise of a job with the Rajputana Rifles as porters.
That's right. In fact, the army is treating this very cautiously. What they're saying is that there are no skeletons in the cupboard, and that's the GOC of the Northern Command, General Jaiswal, who said that, and that this particular inquiry will be conducted very thoroughly, and the action will be taken against all those perpetrators. A serious embarrassment for the army, especially at such a crucial stage where the army is still trying to make a setting in the valley, still trying to settle down well with the civilians over there after the entire last 2 decades that they've faced for the hardship. So this really does come at a very bad time, especially with the new army chief emphasizing that the internal health of the Indian army needs to be rectified. So yes, it's a very serious embarrassment, and let's see what the army does ahead.
Right, and Jaskirat, has the army divulged the details of the 3 men